again, thank you for joining me today. I do appreciate it. I really enjoyed the show quite a bit.
Thank you.
It's very funny. 10 seconds in, I was cracking up. Halfway through, I was like, okay, I have to write to this person and set this up because I absolutely love this. The humor is just so spot on for me.
We're on our frequency. That's very exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
We're on the frequency where we're definitely AM radio and we're down one end. But when you clock into what we're doing, people really love it, which is lovely.
It keeps on hitting you with originality that you're like, I thought I knew what to expect, and then boom, out of the blue, something completely different. And it sounds cliche, but I actually had those moments where I had to pause and rewind because I missed the next joke because it's it's a rapid fire. So for those who do not know, can you give me an idea of how it came to be, how you all came together?
How did Aunty Donna come to be? Wow, that is a great question. I personally can't remember.
I don't. We're the wrong people to ask.
It's all kind of grey.
Well, the reason it's blurry from 2014, we should say, is we were in a big skiing accident in Adelaide. We were, so it's like we know we started the group, but none of us have any memory past about August 2014. Because we just remember coming back from a skiing accident. So the first time I remember meeting you guys, I had ski boots on and skis.
A beanie. You had a beanie on. Zach had a beanie on.
Have you seen the film?
I think I had a beanie on from memory.
I don't remember your beanie.
I don't remember your beanie.
Oh, maybe I didn't have a beanie on. Oh my God.
Have you seen the film Regarding Henry, starring Harrison Ford and Annette Bening, from the plot of him he was shot by John Leguizamo in his first film role, and then he had to rebuild. Our wives, all played by Annette Bening, helped us rebuild. And funnily enough, I couldn't recognize shapes, but I could recite witty, absurd sketches. And they were like, wait a second, this is the key. And they put us all together and we knew it. We remembered it. We could do live shows within a minute.
In that way, it was like the Bourne series as well.
Absolutely. Very similar to the Bourne series, Regarding Henry, and The Take.
And The Fugitive, which also has Harrison Ford, is a great movie.
Yeah. But have you seen Back to the Future?
I have, actually. The medical drama?
No, the time travel movie from the 80s.
That one. Yes.
It came from, I think, Spielberg's brainchild. And he was like, I wish I could sleep with my young mum. And that was the starting point of a franchise. I recommend it.
I think that's why people really do appreciate that film.
It spoke to me in ways that you will never understand.
I actually have a T-shirt, a Back to the Future T-shirt.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm not wearing it right now, but you should get one if you like the film.
Yeah, I just have one that says back. I don't know.
Nice.
I'm catching up. Can you explain the show for people who, like me, were not familiar with it?
It's crazy. It's wild. It's absurd. Think Monty Python. Think South Park. Think Wacky Will. All of those shows come together in an absurd, crazy, heightened, fast-paced, short little episodes of fun.
Do you know how I'd describe it? I'd say give 3 weird Australians access to a Hollywood television show where they don't know anyone in America. Americans are freaked out by them. They don't fully understand them. Give them full power to do whatever the hell they want, and let's see what comes back. And that's what the show is.
Very little supervision.
We weren't supervised.
No. We were just went, you have the show, and we went, what do we do? And they went, I don't know. And we went, all right. And so then we made it, and we don't know how or why it got made, but it did, and it's fucked up.
That about explains it. So I was going to ask if you could, see if this is any fun. It might be a big bomb, but if I'm going to ask you a question, if you can all give different answers or work together on a couple different answers, and I'll guess which one's reality.
I love this.
This is cute.
Where did the name Aunty Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun originate?
Yeah.
Great.
One of these will be true.
One of these are true. Okay, so Broden has a auntie, and her name is Donna, and well, yeah.
All right. Well, I
Sounds
wanted
fishy.
to call. I wanted to call the show Aunty Donna's Big Fun Funny Fun House, but it got outvoted for Aunty Donna's Big Old House of Fun, and I've been fucking pretty pissed off about it ever since, because I think Fun Funny Fun House is a much better title.
And
Pulls off the tongue.
Yeah.
and then the third story is the working title was Aunty Donna's House, because all we had was that it was set in a house, and then we weren't happy with that as a name, but so there was this long back and forth between us and the network and our producers about something that appealed to the bro community, to the young party boys of America, but also something that captured the goofiness of the show. And it got down to immense semantics, to the point where we were at Aunty Donna's Big Old House of Fun. Which of these do you believe is true?
I believe it is Mark's response. Fun house.
You're kind of correct.
Well, here's the thing. I would say that they're all true.
That's
In that
right.
way.
Tricked again.
That's right. We tricked you.
We
Don't-
got you. We
don't-
got you.
Ever try and trick us, Stephen, because we will trick you right
We will
back.
crush you.
I knew I should have done these trick questions. Were the wrong way to go.
Don't
Yeah.
mess with us. Lesson learned.
That's why I wanted to do something a little different, because I thought it's so original, and then people are, if they 10 seconds in, if you're not hooked to this conversation, they're not going to be hooked. If I just go with the standard questions.
You're not gonna like the show.
No, in fact, they're gonna hate us.
Could we-
It's gonna be like, I hate these three people.
Could we do like a cliffhanger for 10 minutes in, like we're talking, and then it's like, oh no, a bomb.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Okay.
I'll put some
so
graphics up on screen. Oh, you want?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll sit back.
we met at university, and we were oh no, a bomb. And then you cut
And
that
then
in.
you put a bomb in.
Then you can
I don't know what you would
do
do
an
there.
ad insert there.
An explosion, or do you survive? What happens next?
I think I've got to follow up.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it wasn't a bomb.
Anyway, we met at university, college.
College. University. You have universities? Like Harvard?
Yes,
Do you have an education
Sure.
system?
University, yeah.
I believe so. I haven't tried it out yet, but
We are Yaleys, just so you know.
Harvard, Brown, Yale.
We're Yaleys. So we all met
Okay.
at Yale studying Facebook.
Mm.
We're in a frat house.
We are Mark Zuckerberg, but not the real one, the cool one from the movie.
oh, you're the one played by Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Hey, remember when Zack Snyder was like, oh, I want to make a contemporary version of Lex Luthor.
Mm.
So I'm going, because what's the contemporary Lex Luthor? It's going to be a
Like a tech wizard.
wizard. So I'm going to base him not on Bezos, who looks like Lex Luthor. I'm going to base him on the movie version of, I'm just going to cast the guy who played Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network and then make him shave at the end of the movie. Why didn't he do?
Why do you get someone like Gene Hackman?
Oh,
He
Gene
already
Hackman
played-
would
he
make
already
a
played
great
the
Lex
role. He
Luthor.
already played the role.
But why not Bezos?
Bezos makes a lot of, but I don't think he acts is the problem.
No, you don't cast Bezos. You model the character off Bezos.
What, out of clay? You're an
Oh,
idiot.
you're crazy. Next question. And I'm just going to check in every now and then and ask if we should be a little more on message. But this is not what we're here to promote.
This is not what we're here to
Aunty
promote.
Donna's
Stephen,
Big
can
Old
I say
House of Fun.
something?
Sure.
We've been told by those Hollywood types that to ask for an Emmy is very bad etiquette, right?
Mm.
You don't do that, right?
I
think it's
I don't think you do ask, but
I really want a toboggan.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah,
don't
we've been watching the Toboggan Awards all year,
Oh,
every year, and we're obsessed with them. And we would love a toboggan.
I don't know. Oh, wait, I've got it. I'm not going to ask for a toboggan, but let me tell you, we're doing a luncheon at a theater in West Hollywood where we will talk about the Toboggan Awards.
No, I think that's too far.
That's way too far.
Okay.
Way too obvious as well.
But I'm actually talking about a toboggan.
Are you?
No.
All right.
Is this going to turn into like a Citizen Kane type thing where we're trying to
It
find
was.
a toboggan
I mean,
later?
It's one of the greatest screenplays ever written, much like Aunty Donna's Big Old House of Fun.
But the
It's been
twist-
compared.
The twist at the end is that
Don't give it away.
I
haven't
wanted
seen it yet.
that I
really
was
good.
talking about my Emmy from my childhood.
Yeah.
Ah,
Totally makes sense. Yeah, I have to check my chat once. If I get a nasty message, then I know I'm like,
Oh,
I'm not reining this in enough.
Yeah,
That- yeah,
I've been drilling you.
That'll be us.
I've just been
So just ignore those.
a lot of
That's just-
cyberbullying.
It's just how we deal with shit.
I totally
Not
get it. You know,
personal,
it's fine. I'll just hit the report button and then the screen will go blank. You all disappear.
right.
We're
So-
we're Aunty Donna on the vid and Chrissy Teigen in the comments. She bullied.
I get the reference.
I'm
Yeah.
not familiar.
It's very fresh.
Okay.
So
Yeah, very fresh. Yeah.
100% fresh, much like our show, Aunty Donna's Big Old House of Fun.
Yeah, it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That
Or
is-
it's
tomato.
toboggan worthy.
Yeah.
It is toboggan worthy. Thank you, Stephen. Finally, someone in our corner. Am I right?
We'll see how we go at the tobogganies.
Okay. Okay. I certainly hope that we
Come on.
Okay. I certainly hope that we do well at the Toboggan Awards, which is an award for television.
No,
Toboggans.
no.
You're
Stephen,
always you're
Stephen,
not
help.
fully understanding what we're doing, Zach. It's okay. Stephen, refer to your notes.
Please just ask a question, and we're gonna.
I don't have notes.
I'm in here.
Yeah.
You
I
ask
don't
a
have notes. Who said that?
you are the antithesis of
Busted.
James Lipton on Inside the Actors Studio.
Yeah, I shaved my beard though today. Didn't work out. All right.
You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So-
If
no
you
one's
were
ever
my
called me
mum and
beautiful.
it
I
was
don't
the
think ever in
50s,
the history of my existence.
Well, you ain't hanging around with the right people, mate. Come over to Australia. We'll look after you. I call you beautiful every day.
Oh, I'll head on down. I mean,
You'll need to go into 2 weeks of quarantine.
Oh,
though.
yeah,
That
there's
is,
a bit of stuff
Oh.
going on at the moment.
I won't head down.
A bit more difficult than.
yeah, I would recommend not coming down right now.
Yeah, when the world clears up, I'll head down and I'll just roam the streets to hear the words,
Yeah.
"You're beautiful" over and over
We
again.
do that. We do that. We'll just sort of walk up to people in Australia and just say, "Hello, you're beautiful."
And just so you know, in Australia, you need to know this. In Australia, Back to the Future shirts are like a swear word. So it's like spitting on someone's dog.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really a rude word.
That's
It's
terrible.
Cultural differences. Cultural
Yeah,
differences.
who would have thought? Who needs it?
Appreciate
Great
that.
film, just the t-shirt specific. It's a cultural difference.
Yeah.
We just never got past the fact that they dropped, was it Eric Stoltz?
Yeah, we never.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love Eric Stoltz in Australia.
Yeah.
And when we heard that he was out of the production and Michael J. Fox was in, we never forgave the whole team.
And we weren't crazy about the way that they removed who's the actor who played the dad,
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover. We weren't rapt that they didn't bring him back because we're very passionate as a comedy group about intellectual property and likeness, and you own your face. And that second film just spat in the face of Crispin Glover.
We all own our faces in Australia. It's very different to other places in the world.
He sued them eventually.
As you would.
And he won,
Yeah.
I believe.
As you would. We're so sorry. We're 20 minutes in and you haven't gotten to your second question.
I'll just say it quick before it goes off on a tangent. Comedy idols. Who are yours growing up and or
Kelly
current?
Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson's a big one.
Yeah.
Um,
so funny.
who won-
Clay Aitken, we always loved.
Yeah.
Was a big fan of Clay Aitken.
Mm.
But no, not American idols. Comedy.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm so sorry.
we got very.
I don't enunciate my words. It's a,
Yeah,
that's
no.
all right.
It's an accent thing.
Comedy idols. I think there's only one, Eric, I believe.
Eric
Eric
Idle.
Idle.
Yeah.
Monty. It's weird because we love Eric Idle, but we hate Monty Python.
Mm.
So It's just like him by himself. Yes, 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 yes. When he gets with those other boys, he's just naughty.
We have supercuts. We've done our own supercuts in the office where we've just cut out everyone else from Python except for Eric. It's the only way we can laugh. Otherwise, it's just too silly.
Yeah, too silly for us.
It's nonsense.
You can get an actor to put a rubber mask on him and then have him play the other parts in a less, more serious approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, we floated Crispin Glovering Monty Python, but people explained to us that those movies were made like 30, 40 years ago. The TV series was made even longer ago. And we just felt that the logistics of traveling back in time and putting like just doing what they did to Crispin Glover, it was just
impossible,
too much work.
Yeah.
But we are interested, if you can go back and meet our young mums, that's something that we're
give them a kiss.
You know.
Would you really want me to? I can try to arrange
as
that.
long as I can come and get a smooch in as well.
Okay. Yeah, got weird. All right. So do you have comedians that you like other than Eric Idle?
Yes.
Oh,
I think we'll answer
do?
this one seriously.
All right.
There's a man named Sean McAuliffe who's very big in Australia. Broden likes.
I was very lucky in Australia growing up on cable TV in Australia at a really weird time that a 10-year-old could watch it daily. I got to watch Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and all the writers on that show became like my DNA for creating comedy. So people like Robert Smigel and that whole team there, who, the great lineage of awesome, interesting comedy sketch writers. Conan's very, very, very important to me. And I was very lucky when we're doing the show now. I went and I kept going to the live tapings and just sitting in the crowd like a weirdo and watching all of the shows. But that was fun.
Can I ask, just before you answer, Mark, I'm so sorry. Can I ask, did French and Saunders, did they cut through back in the 80s? So French and Saunders, Dawn French and Jennifer Saunders, they were a big movement of the British people in the 80s that sort of moved sketch away from like sort of highfalutin wordy stuff and went for the silly. So the great thing about Australia is we got both the British and the American and the Australian. We're such a weird blend of everything that no country recognizes us as their own. Mark doesn't really watch comedy though.
What? Yes, I do.
Do you?
I'm sorry. I thought we were being genuine.
Yeah, no. You be genuine, and then I'll riff off you like I'm surprised that.
All right, great.
This bit.
Yeah.
Mark doesn't really watch comedy though.
No.
Be genuine.
Oh,
Say who
right.
You like. I've got a bit.
All right. I grew up. My hero growing up was George Costanza. And I think a lot of the mental health issues I have now are because I was obsessed with that man and obsessed with Seinfeld growing up and modeled myself off of Seinfeld. So Seinfeld, I think for me was probably like the biggest comedic influence I've in my life. Next to them when I got into high school and saw Tim and Eric, which melted my little brain.
Is that why you had the Seinfeld appearance?
Yeah, we got Jerry in, which was amazing.
That was incredible.
He was so cool.
Looked different in person.
Very different.
He looks great though. Looking very youthful.
Looked incredible.
Can I add one more person I was thinking about the other day? My first favorite comedy special, my first hour that I really loved was Ellen DeGeneres. Which is funny because I spent 10 minutes in one of our episodes pretending to be Ellen.
It's true.
But yeah, her special, I forget which one it's called, but ends with her doing Salt and Pepper. Was one of my favorite specials. And since she's just finished her show, I thought it would be fun to mention as well.
Have you ever seen her? I mean, has she ever reached out to you or anything? Or...
No.
She's had a busy year.
She's had a bit on her plate.
We're not going to be pressing her to watch our sketch.
But
maybe after this video goes out, just blow up and she'll be reaching out to.
I would love to
yell at you.
Have a sit down coffee with her if she's willing to sit in quarantine for 2 weeks in Melbourne, and then we'll go out for a coffee, and then
we'll go to Geelong. Portia's from Geelong.
Portia's from Geelong.
Ellen's wife is from Melbourne.
Play. Did you want to do your bit about because I was talking about Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David in particular? I really love.
No, that was it.
You didn't do anything.
No, I very subtly was like, oh, like I was just like,
Screen
as
acting.
you were describing it, I very subtly just played it like.
Nice. I'll have to watch
like,
the video back to
just
see that.
very subtle.
All right,
It's
cool.
just an energy of
No, I like
oh, I
that.
didn't realize he watched comedy.
We're so in sync. We've been working together for 10 years, as you can tell. We just
Sync.
understand each
Each
other's.
We can
We
stop it.
We finish each
What
other's.
are we, the Three Stooges?
We finish each other's.
Sentences.
Exactly.
That was a play on a joke. Anyway.
So what is the process like? You're kind of touching
Yes,
upon it
a lot
there.
of this. So what you're
But it's not
witnessing
fun.
right now is the first stage, and then it's just like picking through the shit to see if there's a sketch.
People always like to us, they see our stuff and they're like, you guys must do a lot of drugs. Yeah.
No, Mark. We don't do drugs and we don't drink a lot of alcohol. We work hard. We play not often. It's a lot of
banging your head against the wall.
a lot of improvisation.
We do a lot of live shows as well. Which
Yeah.
if you're in Australia, come to our live show. But like a lot of our stuff is done on stage in front of people either laughing or not laughing at the show. So the show is built around a lot of things that we like. We know this is funny and we know people will laugh at this. So yeah, we come from the live scene and but it's funny. Most people know us from TV stuff.
And absurdity is great for live because like you can kind of go, this is an idea that makes zero sense but tickles me. I'm just going to put it in front of an audience, and then if they like it, then we'll keep doing it, and if not, we'll never do it again.
Yeah.
And and it means it's great, and that's where you end up sometimes with things in a show that where you're laughing, but you're going, I don't know why I'm laughing and how did they know this would work? It's like, the truth is we didn't. We just put it along with 20 other things in front of an audience and then kept the ones that work.
We talk about moneyballing our stuff. So like in the movie Moneyball, where Brad Pitt, algorithmically works out on averages the bet. That's what we try to do with our comedy by putting it in front of a live audience and like constantly reshaping it and cutting it until it's just the funny bits. And if you've seen our show and didn't laugh, then we failed.
Also, I will say that's also why for a time we had a really great pitcher that had a bit of a knobbly knee.
Yeah.
In our fourth year, we had a live show with a guy who could really throw a ball but just couldn't run that far.
And we were obviously, it's you'll see this in the press releases for the show, but we had general manager Billy Bean sort of managing our list.
Sorry.
Billy Bean was
I called
fantastic.
I called him Silly Bean, and he got really mad and punched a wall.
Here's what I liked about Moneyball. Number one thing I liked about Moneyball.
Yeah.
There's a scene where he works out because he's stressed. I believe that movie came out the same year that Just Friends or Friends with Benefits with Mila Kunis and Justin Timberlake came out. And in that film, there's a scene where they're just munching on hot dogs without a worry in the world. And I said, those people watch what they eat and they go to the gym. So it was very refreshing a few months later to see a film where, yeah, the guy's munching on chippies, but afterwards he hits the gym. It's much more realistic because a person that looks like Brad Pitt would go to the gym for a couple of hours every day. And it's good to see that in a film. That's all I'm saying.
Should have a commentary flashing across the bottom of the screen and a little disclaimer. These are his opinions, not mine. Please, So if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Sort of a serious kind of sketch. No. I think I would be doing something creative and riffy. I think it's hard to say. I think I would just if I was doing anything serious, I would be doing it for a very short amount of time, quitting, trying something else, then something else. That's how I would roll.
I'm very passionate about tricking people into following me in some sort of community, sort of like moving into the country and marrying multiple people and sort of creating this sort of godlike structure where I'm in charge and whatever I say goes. And so but I love sketch comedy too much to do that. But that's something I'm passionate about doing once with, this road ends and we have a couple of toboggans up on the wall and What's wrong?
What?
You're so goofy.
You're
I don't know what's
crazy.
goofy about what I'm saying. I'm thinking more Waco than Jonestown, but
Have you seen Waco, the film Waco, the miniseries of Waco starring Michael Shannon
that's where I got the idea.
and John Leguizamo?
Yeah, I've seen Waco.
Waco is a fantastic and very underrated miniseries. I believe that was on the Paramount Network in the US. And my God, if that had been on Netflix or HBO, I think that would have cut through
Or Peacock.
so much more than it did. Or Peacock. I'm so sorry. Sorry, just for anyone watching this or listening, the NBC Universal publicist is listening in, and I really fucked up by not mentioning Peacock there. We love Peacock
We
and also
love
Netflix.
Peacock.
Who are we representing right now?
We're we are representing whoever you want us to
You
represent.
just
Yeah,
tell us
absolutely.
whoever's driving that truck of money out the front of our place, that's who we're representing. Whoever
Yeah.
the name is on the side of that truck. And it can be anyone.
We're brought to you today, by the way, by the US Defense Force. Join the army. Do something with your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there are so many careers and so much room to move in the Defense Force.
Yeah.
You could be a teacher in the Defense Force. You could be a sailor
In the Defense
Force.
You could be a soldier.
in the
in the
Defense
defense
Force.
force. It's so
You could be a
interesting.
sniper.
You can be so many things.
I love American Sniper.
If I just say, if I wasn't doing this, I reckon I'd be like a doctor.
No, you
like
already answered.
Well, I've got a new answer, and this is good.
All right.
I think I'd be a doctor, like those crazy, interesting, and beautiful characters in New Amsterdam. My favorite NBC medical drama. It's the new Grey's Anatomy.
Do you call them?
I'm pretty sure it's on NBC.
Do you
I
call
know.
them butchers in America? What do you call someone who prepares your meat? What do you call someone who prepares your meat?
A butcher. I'm sorry.
You call them a butcher? I thought there was a different name for them in America. Do you call you call them slaughterhouses. We call them abattoirs. So I would work in an abattoir, getting the steel rod and putting it to a
No, he's
cow's-
not. He's
We don't need to talk about.
Well, my dad, I'd follow in my father's footsteps. That's what my father did.
Well, confronting. We don't need to talk about the dead.
They call them
animals.
slaughterhouses.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a more honest name.
It is. We call them abattoirs. Some of the
We-
stories.
We come from working class roots. This is not the Strokes style comedy group, but more of a
Blur.
We're the Michael Moore
Are we
of
more
comedy.
Blur?
Blur.
Were
Were they
Blur working class? I think
Pulp were
I think
working-
Oasis were
Nirvana.
were white
We're Nirvana.
collar.
Nirvana.
Nirvana,
Pulp, common
Blur?
people. Blur.
Blur.
We're certainly not the Strokes. They came from money.
I think we're the Blur of the.
But Blur are British.
Well, yeah, but in terms of the Brit pop,
We are the replacements. You know the replacements, alternative.
Yes. Yeah.
We're the replacements.
we're Blur.
But I'm talking about that working to middle class origins, I have to be honest, that was a lie. My dad is the most powerful television producer in all of Australia. Broden's mum is
My mum runs. She's part of a group called News Corp. So she's the matriarch of a company called News Corp, and they own subsidiaries such as Fox News and the Sky and stuff like that. And she oversees most of their programming.
And
so
my dad worked in an abattoir,
but what abattoir?
a slaughterhouse.
For Wagyu.
Yeah. For wow.
Fancy beef.
The fanciest beef around.
Did you have cable growing
We
up?
really embraced the California bungalow. in Australia.
I had cable,
did.
but that was our one luxury.
We
Yeah.
did not have cable.
And cable's a middle class kind of thing, but did you have a pool?
No.
Our one luxury was offcuts of filet mignon.
Look, I'm not trying to position ourselves as too working class here because TikTok will come for us, but we're not industry plants either. We're somewhere between working class and industry plant, somewhere in the middle there.
What's your favorite segment on the series? Like, which one stands out?
What's the episode that has the run? I really like the run.
Oh, episode 1. The first episode.
Oh yeah, my favorite bit, and it's what I'd love to do more if we get to make TV in the future, is I love the section where there was about 8 mini sketches. Often sketches in our head tend to be about 3 to 4 minutes long, and you can and you can say in this episode, we've got 5 to 6 sketches, right? But sometimes ideas are 1 minute length of funny, or they're even 15 seconds funny. But so you can't really build an episode out of those things. But what we did in episode 1 is there's a section where there's about 3 or 4 or 5 mini sketches in a row, and it makes it feel like it's pure stream of consciousness. So where we start tearing down posters of each other, to going to a poster shop to get more posters, to Zach having a speech bubble that we cut off his head, to then the man who shit himself in public. I love that run. I really love that run. And I'm very proud of that.
I very much agree. And I think the reason why, and there's another little bit, I think it's in the romance episode where Zach and I are doing a bit about doors, the squeaky door, which was originally just one little joke, and then Broden was doing the squeaky door stuff live, and we improvised a bunch, which then made it into the edit, which was really cool to see. And then Zach and I have this back and forth about it's really lame, like it's written like a lame sitcom. It makes me laugh so much. The reason why I loved that in particular was because with YouTube, like Broden said, every idea we have is 3 to 4 minutes, but that's kind of because it has to be 3 to 4 minutes, in our opinion, for what we do on YouTube and what people have come to expect of us. But this show gave us the chance to put jokes that had been in our brains for 10 years that had nowhere else to go. And now finally they had a home, and we could just offload all of them into it. And I think that contributes to the sort of pace, and that, like you were saying, you'd laugh, but then you laugh over the joke. It was just because we'd had this built up these built up mini tiny little thoughts that we were able to sprinkle throughout in between all the sketches. And yeah, those are the bits that really come to life.
I think mine isn't a moment, but it's the same sort of thing. I mean, we've been doing sketch comedy for so long. The sketches, are fun to make, but it was exploring something that was sort of halfway between long form and short form that was fun. And my favorite episode was the nighttime episode, episode 4. For a similar kind of reason. Everything else we had plots, and we were trying to we were doing like these like journeys and plots, whereas the entire nighttime episode kind of feels like a dream, and it just sort of goes from concept to concept, and the house becomes a bar, and then the SWAT comes in, and it, I don't know, I watched that episode now even as a viewer, and I feel like even though we're known for being so punchy and hard, the flow of that episode is actually quite like, oh, it's over. And plus, we're getting to work with Weird Al Yankovic, and
which
everything was incredible.
He's the sweetest man in the world.
Yeah.
How did he get involved? Was he a fan or?
Good question. We essentially, because we didn't know anyone in America apart from our producer Ed Helms and his team. Like, they were the team that backed us in and said, we think that you're making cool stuff and more people should see it. But in Australia, if we were to make a TV show in Australia, we know most of the famous comedians and performers here, and they're willing to come in. But when we came to America, we were kind of nobodies to an extent. And the idea of people coming in and taking a chance on us and being cameos in the show was really, really hard. And a few people just said, nah, you're too risky, or you're too weird, and didn't want to be in the show. But then a few, so we ended up with this list of people in the show who are really awesome and I love. But the coolest thing about getting people in for this show was when we heard Weird Al Yankovic wanted to be in the show. He's a US icon. He's literally a Hall of Fame personality in America for doing something really quirky and really fun. But also he champions young comedians, and he loves the alternative. And he came in and knew his lines off by heart and was bringing fun things and was willing to do whatever we wanted to do. He was the nicest, most generous guy. He helped us promote the show. He sent us a Christmas card. What was that? That was a lovely friendship to be able to make out of this show.
Can I say one thing? The thing I absolutely loved about working with him more than anything was he honestly, it was such a great example. When you're a young comic, we're sort of, I would say, mid-career in Australia. You start to get a little comfortable in yourself. You start to get a little bit what you do. And when you do a cameo on something, you just come in. But what he did was honestly like he was first year out of acting school. And I mean that like honestly, like he came in and he was eager and he was grateful and he learned his lines. And it's like for someone that far into his career to be doing that, it's just something really special.
And it's like the first time I ever performed live ever in front of an audience was I was in year 7 and I lip synced to his polka that's off Running with Scissors. And so seeing him and then performing on a show that I had a hand in writing and creating was just the most mind-boggling thing to me. It was quite an incredible moment.
Now that like every YouTuber, like parody songs do well all the time. They're one of the first things to go viral on Facebook. And there's so much bad parody songs.
Yeah.
I don't think people appreciate how clever he is with what he does with words, with how he'll twist something around. Like it's honestly just like a phenomenal thing that he can take. Just the rhyming, the internal rhyming, like he's as good as Eminem. You know what I mean? Like he actually is as good as some of the best like rappers and musicians in terms of what he can do with lyrics, and he chooses to do stupid stuff with it. And I think that's to choose to do stupid, I think is really cool.
Yeah.
There are several of his songs that are better than the originals. You know, it's like he's that good.
Absolutely.
Do you have any plans for like you have the podcast and that continues to go on, right? You know, that's
some reason, yeah.
And if you think this interview is a hot mess, my God, don't listen to the podcast. Watch the Netflix show. It's a lot more
it's a little more succinct. Yeah.
But on the podcast you won't have me, so it can only be, you know, I think that might be an improvement.
So good.
We should have you on as a guest though.
Oh yeah, episode 237, I think. I'm scheduled for. It's gonna be fun. People are gonna be like, wow, that guy's really great. He's talking about toboggans again. So do you have any plans or dreams of like a feature film or anything like that?
Yeah. We have a big list of ideas we want to do for that. With the Netflix show in Australia really built our profile even more than before it. So we're doing this big tour and we put it on sale yesterday and kind of blew our minds how many tickets we sold on the first day. Oh, wow. So we're very excited to make a brand new live special and some other cool stuff on the horizon as well.
Yeah, we very much like we really all grew up like adoring Monty Python, and then as we got a little older and started our own thing, really started to see kind of what they did and how they transcended a lot. Like they're just, when we think of Monty Python, I think of them as a comedy group, not as a sketch group, right? They just do funny on whatever medium. And that's very much what we want to do. Like, you know, the podcast is just one shade of what we do. And then we've got sketches on YouTube, and then we've got a TV show, and then we'd love to do movies. And then we'd love to make shows that maybe we're not necessarily in, that maybe we just write and create and that kind of thing. That's, you know, we just want to bring comedy. It doesn't necessarily have to focus on the three of us, but yeah, that's kind of all we want to do.
There was a point early in our careers where we dropped everything. We got a pilot. We had made 2 failed pilots in Australia before we made this show. And we dropped everything. We didn't upload to YouTube. We didn't do the podcast. We didn't do live tours. We're like, we're going to make this pilot. And I think we really learned in that moment, you know, when you grow up watching TV, you think TV's everything. And we were like, no, actually it's one thing. And like Mark said, the best people don't define themselves by their medium. They just follow the creative id. But movie is a big one. I'd love to do a movie, and I'd love to do how Kevin Smith does it, like a roadshow kind of situation on the big screen.
Yeah, we know we don't know what our movie's going to be about, but we know exactly how we're going to fucking release it.
So going back to how you create these, do you say, okay, we have these, we throw them together, and now we create a thread to connect them? Or is there a bigger picture in mind? Like, is it more natural and like organic how it comes together?
It's a bit more like we have the opening, we have the closing, and then everything in between just springs from that opening. It's sort of, you know, when you look at how people make stories, we looked a lot at story. The scenes in the middle are just like throwing stuff at the wall. That's what we realized. Most stories are just, you know, the first act, the third act, and then everything in between is just throwing stuff at the wall. And that's what we do. We just make the middle act more random and more sort of fun. And maybe we'll put in some old stuff, but that's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
So Abe Lincoln is something that just comes up.
That's the other way ideas come up, which is one member of the group has an idea and will just not rest until it makes it into the show.
That was me.
So, and we've all got them. We're all guilty of this. But sometimes each of us will get onto a thing, and no matter what comes up, no matter how many walls we come against in production or whatever, we will not let it go, and we force it into existence. Abraham Lincoln is an example.
The other thing I love about Abraham Lincoln is Broden was like tired, and he was like, he'd been pushing the Abraham Lincoln rock up the hill for maybe 2 years. He finally got it in, and there was always the risk of it being cut. He was so tired, he was nearly done. And then they were like, hey, we'd like to cast Robert Brodsky from Twin Peaks: The Return, the guy from and I'm a big fan of Lynch. And then I was like, Broden, I'll take it from here. And then he was like, thank you, Zach.
So do you each have a segment or like one of those jokes like Abraham Lincoln that you said you had to crowbar in, you had to find a way to make it work?
That's the one for me.
Well, the one I remember, and it's slightly different, is in the doctor sketch with Michelle Brazier, there's a bit where I'm wearing full scuba gear, and I think Broden came up with that idea, and then he wanted to cut it, and then Zach was like, no, I think I can make that work. So then Zach wrote a version of it, and then he wanted to cut it, and then I was like, no, I think it could work. And so then I wrote a version of it, and then it made it in.
No,
it
then you wanted to cut it.
And then I wanted to cut it.
And then we were like, what about if we have a character that's a shark? And then it was in.
Yeah. So
and we didn't write it. We just did it.
Yeah. Sometimes things just get passed around like that.
So how long is production for one episode?
I can't even remember.
Like
We shot
3 days. 4 days.
I think it was about 4 days an episode. Yeah.
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 But we shot it as one, so it's like, yeah, so it's sort of
Was we shot it over Thanksgiving. We found out that Americans love holidays in November.
oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
We came during the holiday period, and we like shot for 2 days, and then everyone was like, well, have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you in 50 days. And but yeah.
Zach, did you give your bit that had to be
no,
crowbar?
they forced me to cut every joke I wanted.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'd really love just this one joke. And then they were like, no, you're not allowed.
We had to
No, there were definitely ones in there, but for the life of me, I can't think of any. Bad interview technique, Zachary Ruane.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. You know what? I'm sure if you watch, you can point out. That's the thing. I was thinking as watching this, like Netflix would do good by you if they did something along the lines of a watch along, where like a Mystery Science Theater, where you could be, either just via chat or you're having a commentary over as you discuss and let the listeners join in, because what goes on screen is so wild that everybody wants to see what's in your head.
All 6 episodes of us commentating are available on our YouTube channel.
And guess what? We go off topic a lot, but occasionally there's a gem.
See, there you go. There's a bad interviewer. Now that's flashing on the screen.
No, that's good.
No. Our YouTube is full of a lot of stuff, and I think most of it's behind the thing. Anyway, it's a playlist. Check it out.
As the world has changed, how has your comedy evolved? Because a joke from the early days of your podcast, and I'm sure in your live days, your early live work, a lot of that stuff probably doesn't play so well today. And that's just about you. It's just comedy in general. It seems like a tricky thing, a trickier art than it used to be.
No, well, I think when we started, we were learning how to be comedians as well. So, and I think most people are. So when we started the first time we ever decided we were going to do a live show was Aunty Donna in 2012. I'd never written, period. So I hadn't even written comedy. So for the first, I'll say 5-6 years, I was learning how to be a comedy writer. And the way you learn is by making mistakes and getting better. And with that comes jokes that are tasteless and don't have nuance. But as you get older and more succinct with what you're trying to say, and more understanding of people and respectful of everyone out there, you become a better writer, because the skill is being funny and in an accepting and open way. We're pretty lucky in that we've, as a group, for the holistically said that we have no interest in being political, or we never want to punch down, as the term goes. We literally just want to be silly and make fun of each other and do big, stupid characters and scream a lot. So we're just here for fun. And if you're feeling down, or if you're feeling sad, or if you're, worried about something, you can just turn on our show and forget about everything. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very bold comedy, but like you said, it's not angry. It's not. There's nothing negative about it. It's just this, like, I've already watched it twice, and I'm planning on watching it. It's going to be one of those shows I'm going to be watching, just like playing in the background, and just keep rolling. Because are there any questions I didn't ask that, or anything that you'd like to speak about?
You've been very thorough, and we really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man.
And thank you for letting us be silly. It's always fun to do what we do in these interviews. So thank you, Stephen. It's lovely.
Well, I was worried that I'd start the interview and you'd just be like,
we're usually very withholding, but you made us feel at ease.
See, I knew it. I knew I could do something right.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing about a season 2, is it's really not up to us. It's if you liked it, watch it. Tell your friends to watch it. That's the best way a season 2 can happen. It's a really interesting thing about TV. It's like we have no say in the matter. It's all up to you guys.
And I'll also just say, like we were saying before, we got to working on the live show as soon as we were done promoting this. We're just working on stuff. We keep on doing stuff. So there's going to be plenty more Aunty Donna. In what form, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm already subscribed to your podcast now, and I'm going to be jumping on the YouTube soon. But I'm going to do my best. I will keep replaying it and hope that those numbers go up and get you that season 2. And I hope maybe it can also earn you that toboggan you want.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
Can I close out with just 2 quick things? 3 words to describe the show. And you can each do 1, or you can each do 3. However you want.
Got one.
Yeah, go.
Aunty Donna show.
Yeah.
That's good.
Donna's big.
And Don. I've got nothing. I can't
follow mine.
Aunty Donna.
Aunty Donna's big.
Aunty Donna's big.
No.
Good.
All right. Thank you so much. Can you sing me out? Can we? Got a song you can sing us out to, and then we'll wrap right there. Thank you so much. I absolutely love the show, and I will be looking forward to more.
Thank you, Stephen. All right, ready? Stephen
Prusakowski. Prusakowski. Stephen Prusakowski. Stephen Prusakowski. Stephen Prusakowski. Stephen Prusakowski.
Wow. I'm not kidding. That was awesome, and that's incredible, and that's going to be on my ringtone and everything else. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
Have a great day, and thank you for the show.
Thank you so much. That was so lovely.
See you, mate.
Thank you.